Warning, this podcast contains strong language and was brought to you by two unqualified individuals with various sobriety issues. Follow their advice and recommendations at your own risk. Enjoy.
Welcome back to episode 8 part 2 or B, whatever you want to call it.
All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Moving on to our part 2 of this conversation, and I'm just going to go straight in. A common issue that I believe a lot of people face in relationship face is that when a guy has a very close female friend, and when the girl feels like the other girl's getting a little too close to her mans, and she's like, you know what, you got to delete that girl. The guy be like, fine, I'll delete her. But then vice versa, when it's the other way around, the girl's just like, oh no, he's just a friend.
Yeah.
I want to know what
do you think about that?
Everyone's
what's your opinion? Yeah.
I think as girls, being girls, we understand how girls flirt, and we understand when they say something, what it means. But that goes with guys too. Like, they understand what guys mean when they say certain stuff because they've said it themselves. What I don't agree with is, like, you can ask me nicely and you can say, you know what, I feel uncomfortable with you talking. But I feel uncomfortable if somebody was like, you're so naive. You don't even see that when they start putting you down like you're fucking a stupid female and you can't tell when somebody's flirting with you. I don't know. I feel like if you prove someone you can put boundaries on things, then you shouldn't be worried on who they're talking to. As long as they put boundaries in the sense, I'm not flirting, I'm in a relationship. I don't know.
Yeah,
that
makes sense because It's like, as long as it's shown that, hey, I have a girl, or hey, I have a guy, then it's fine. You know what I mean? Because relationships are built on trust. And if you don't trust that person, you shouldn't be in that relationship.
Agree.
All right. I mean, situation that I've gone through this before. I definitely gave the girl reason not to trust me.
Fantastic.
let me live. Okay. I own up to what I did. I did my best.
That's even better.
I did my best to be a better man moving forward. She was like, you should stop talking to this person. At first, I fought back because I was like, there's nothing going on no more. Right. And I saw how much it upset her. So I was like, you know what? I cannot do this to her. So I was like, you know what? Fine. That person's out of the book. Right. But then following up, there was this one person who she was talking to. She said friend, but I voiced my concern about several times, 5-6 times a week about.
Wow.
But every time it comes straight back, it's like, no, he is just a friend. And no matter how bad I felt uncomfortable with, she just would do the same that I did.
Well, were they best friends, or were they just friends that were just talking kind of thing?
They were friends that was just talking, but at the same time, I also know this guy, and this guy was a trophy hunter.
Oh, okay.
Oh, cute.
Then it's a red signal right there.
Then she's just a bitch. I would just say that.
Okay, she's not a bitch.
I mean, she's expecting you to drop people, but she won't do the same. Like,
yes, exactly.
She's a bitch.
But it's a bitch move to even ask for someone to have empathy for you and put themselves in your shoes and your position and kind of reflect on it, but you don't do the same thing, you know?
Yeah. It would be different if you weren't willing to cut people out of your life for her. Then that would be completely different. But the fact that you were willing to be like, okay, I won't talk to this person because it affects you, she should have done the same thing.
Agreed. But also, like, a good conversation to have with her would be like, what does that person fill in that you have the need to consistently talk to them? Because that might be something that your relationship lacks. Like, some girls that I know may talk to another guy during the relationship because they don't feel validated enough by their boyfriend.
But that should be voiced, isn't it?
Yeah.
That should be voiced. That should be communicated.
Communication right there.
If
some
there's
people
no
are really not good at that.
Bullshit.
I feel like there's a misconception in like relationships that after a certain amount of months goes by, we don't have the need to validate each other. We validate each other just by being in a relationship together, which it's an ongoing process. Like, you need to constantly have each other being attracted. What's the reason of being in a relationship if you don't do that? Then, like, I don't understand. That's why people tend to talk to other people as well and decline and like, I don't want to block them or something. So I would say that. Yeah, I don't.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That is a very interesting take. I'm going to take that into consideration. I should always voice my concern when I have to.
Yeah.
Moving on, communication is a big part of relationship. When you guys just said that, many of the relationship that I've been in, I've seen my friends been in, for some reason, one person can always communicate with the other person. And it ends up being them going around, telling this, telling that, telling this, telling that. And it just escalates. And it happens on both female perspective and male perspective. Do you think, is there any way that we can find a way to resolve it as couples You know what I'm saying? Like, what could they possibly do to help each other make the relationship even better and not make it into that point?
I think the reason why people, like, you're talking like, say you and I are together and like I go talk to my friends about our issues, right? Is that what you mean? Yeah, I feel like it's because girls, equivalent with guys, I don't know about guys, but I'm gonna speak about girls. That's like
I'll input
that because we know we're not going to be judged in the same level that we might be judged by communicating our feelings to a man. And communication does not only happen naturally. For someone to deeply communicate their emotions, they need to be okay with wording out what they feel, and they need to accept that some things that they want to word out are negatives about themselves. And that's where communication comes. Like, if you're unable to say you're at fault and you're unable to properly figure out what you feel, then that's a work you need to do with yourself. I don't know anybody who has been unable to communicate but yet knows exactly what they feel. Like, that's stupid. To me, it sounds stupid. Like, if you know what you feel, just communicate it out. You know, I don't see a middle ground in that.
I also think that if your significant other tells you like, hey, this is how I'm feeling, you shouldn't ignore it, even if it bothers you. Because I feel like people get very defensive. No, I don't do that. Or you're making this up or something. And that's going to make the other person be like, okay, I don't want to communicate anymore because you just make me feel like I'm crazy. So if somebody reaches out to you and is like, hey, this is how you're making me feel, I feel like you need to accept that and be like, okay, what can I do to make it better? Instead of being defensive and being, no, like, I'm not doing this, and like listing off all these bad qualities about that person. I just think, like, instead of like everyone getting triggered and just fighting, if you sit down and actually think and be like, okay, if this is how you feel, and because I'm in this relationship with you and I want to make it work, let's figure out a way to talk it out and see, okay, what can I do differently, or what can we do differently as a couple to make sure that this doesn't happen again?
Yes, I agree.
Someone who doesn't get into a relationship, you sure have a lot of relationship advice, Tamara.
Bro, the reason I'm not in a relationship is because I don't want to be in one, because I see all this stuff with the fighting and the stupidness, and I don't want to do that.
I feel like for girls, it's much easier to even consider what a relationship may be like because we're so open with communication between each other. We openly communicate our feelings, so we do not think that's going to be an issue for us by being in a relationship. What I think, which is so interesting, I'm going to like bring it up to you guys because I don't even know.
Go ahead.
In our culture, like in my Greek culture, it is commonly thought, I don't want to like represent all Greeks, but it's commonly thought that, you know, men don't communicate their feelings because it makes them look as weak if they come up to you and tell you, like, you know what, I'm sad, I'm this, I'm that. But as women, we're supposed to accept that because that's how men are going to be. You know, like, there were plenty of times that my mother used to say, like, that's the best you're going to get. And I used to be like, but I don't want to accept the bare minimum. Like, why do women have to accept the bare minimum in a sense just for the man's masculinity to not get hurt by crying? I've never met a man who's cried yet.
You know what? I've met a man that was open with their feelings, wasn't afraid to express themselves, but it could be also the girl isn't able to communicate or they don't want to express their feelings. Like, it could be vice versa. So it just, I feel like it's all based on how you grew up and what you were taught, kind of thing. For me, emotions weren't a huge thing. So sometimes it's really hard for me to express myself. But I think with what Evelina is saying is, as a girl, I do have friends that I can go to and vent to and be like, okay, so this is normal, like, this is okay. And I think for some guys, they don't have that because they're scared of looking weak or they're not a man if they have all these emotions. And I think you just have to find the right kind of people to surround yourself with to be able to open up.
Yeah. And I think for girls, it's much different in the sense that because we're so aware of what we feel, we consistently go on this like roller coaster of trying to figure out what men feel. Like, for us, it's a mission to figure out what you guys feel. It's like, let's throw it down, let's put all the consequences. And that's where communication is so important, because I can tell you 99% of the women, unless you tell us, we're going to have 10 different scenarios that might be going on. And then you guys get pissed because you think we go into assumptions. And like, we make all these assumptions up and you guys get pissed. I'm like, but you did not give me a direct answer of what you feel. So what do you expect me to do? And like, in my head, I'm just going to create scenarios. And that's something females have. There's very few men that openly describe of why they do things the way they do things.
And especially for girls, we overthink a lot. Like, you guys don't understand how much a girl will overthink. And say if a guy is just busy that day and like doesn't say, hey, I'm busy, but I'll talk to you later. So without that communication, the girl's like, okay, he doesn't like me anymore. There's something that I did. It's probably me. Like, he's probably with another girl. He probably found somebody else. The amount of times that I have gone through that, and Tobit, you know exactly who I'm talking about. There are so many times that I've been like, what the fuck? Like, it's me. And then when I'm drunk and I'm all emotional, I'll text him and I'll be like, yo, this is how I feel. Like, I feel like you don't like me. And then he's like, what are you talking about? Kind of thing. And it's like, it's
Totally.
crazy. And then
Yo,
I don't get a full reaction out of him or a full answer. So then I'm like, okay, on top of that, he didn't deny it. So
Yeah, but at the same time, I feel like I can tell that for myself that I noticed in my past relationship. It is a negative for me to expect people to, it might be for all girls to expect men to phrase their feelings the same way that we phrase our feelings. In a sense, like word for word go, I feel like this because this and this and this. Because I know a girl can definitely do that. Like we can definitely say, you know what, Tobit, like I am angry right now because you did this and this and this. And your actions kind of told me this and this and this. And men are just kind of like surface level. I feel angry. I don't know why the fuck I feel angry, but I feel angry.
Actually, you'd be surprised how much men are overthinking.
Really?
Tobit can confirm. Tobit
I mean,
can
you guys
confirm.
Hey, all right.
Don't show it,
wait a second. That's a whole another season we can start right here because Tobit can confirm 1,000 times. I'll be like, dude, what is happening? Did I do something? Did I not do something? What is going on? What's wrong? Why this? Why that? Why? And I have 1,000 whys in my head.
That is
1,000 whys.
I feel like
you may be thinking that, but I think if you're not telling us that you're overthinking, we're like overthinking your overthinking, if that makes any sense. Like,
and there's just a lot of overthinking.
We have already made assumptions. Like, you haven't texted us and we already think you're dead. Like, we're planning your funeral in our heads. Like, it's just how it
you
goes.
had the text message being like, okay, this is over. What am I going to do after this? Who am I going to hang out with now? It's a whole thing. Just like if you don't talk to a girl, like say for an hour and you don't say that, they've already, okay, he's with this girl. I know which girl this is. Or like, you know what? He doesn't like me anymore. I need to find somebody else. And it's just
here's where I want to draw a very, very harsh ass point is that when I know some guys are very, very bad at communicating. Me myself, I do work on my communication with whoever I'm talking to, right? There are people who are bad at communicating, yes, about you. And when it comes to things like that, sometimes we just have to focus on, like, let's say me and Val,
at a time.
We're focusing on podcasts and we're trying to do one thing at a time, right?
Yeah.
And you guys are blowing up our phones because you're going through all your overthinking while we're just trying to simply complete our task and keep moving forward with whatever we have in mind, right?
I think with men, it's a little bit more simpler. We have one task. Until we finish this task, we're not going to move to the next one. And it's like, I know that women, they're really good at multitasking. Guys, they suck at it. Like
I've heard like every single person that I've met, they tell me like we can only focus at a task at a time. And I can tell you, I can speak for Tamara too. Like I could be texting you, doing the laundry and at the same time cooking, and I'll be like on top of everything. I'll be knowing what the conversation is on, what my chores are or some shit. Like I understand that, and in our heads, I like to think that we always go down to how would you feel if we always ask men, how would you feel if I were to do that to you? And I can tell you for 100% that when it comes down to the topic of like you're busy, just let me know you're busy. Just shoot me a text. Let me know. Men are okay. They're going to tell you, I wouldn't care, because they have fundamentally learned to be independent. They could go on and on for hours not talking to their friends. And I know people, their guy friends, they will catch up with them once a freaking week. Well, girls were like, I'm talking to my best friend every other minute. Like I'm just like texting them. That's where it comes down to. I feel like men just don't feel the need to let them know because they just in their own habitat, they're like, whatever. Like
I think it's not that we feel like you don't need to know. It's just that we think because the way that men communicate men is like point A to point B. We think that if we just tell you this and this and that, obviously that doesn't apply to the players. I'm talking to trust me, when the player says that, he's an asshole, okay? Then you guess who's trying to connect with you, right? Just be like, okay, I'm doing this and this and this. I think the point is straight fair because I was in a relationship a while ago and I was doing my acting stuff in school, right? So I was like, okay, I'm going to class, and then boom, my class is like 3 hours, 6 hours. Like sometimes I really just don't have the time to go on my phone and stuff like that. And I would just assume that you understand because it's a habit of me just telling you, okay, I'm going to class. I'll talk to you later.
Yeah,
see,
when
so
it
then
becomes a
I'll tell
habit,
you-
it's like
Well, I
in
tell
guys'
you the
mind, it just clicks in, and I guess you understand now. But then again, we have to repeat ourselves again and again and again.
But
Well-
if a girl like tells you, "Hey, I'm an overthinker. Can you please tell me that you're busy so I'm not freaking out?" Why is it that you guys can't do that? Like if a
Why
girl
is-
asks you that, why can't you do that?
No,
Why is
we
that I
would.
can't tell her that my schedule is this busy. I probably won't have a lot of chance to get back to you. And then something else catches our attention during in between our break. And
Oh,
then we
yeah,
have to
that's-
focus on something else. It's not that we forgot about you. It's just that we want doing one thing at a time, and another thing just pops up. Because
Well, I
like,
think
when
what
I was in classes,
yeah.
no phones allowed. In between break, I was like, okay, let me go get my lunch real quick, and then boom, I was like, oh, we have to study. We had this coming up. Let's run the lines.
Yeah,
real
yeah,
quick.
yeah.
I'm gonna go.
So
Yeah.
a lot of things comes
then-
up, and then you like at the end of the day, oh shit, I had to text.
Well, if you think about it, just think about it, like in the perspective of a girl, okay? Tobin and I are talking, and he has like, I don't know, like acting classes, as you said, right?
Yep.
And when we first started talking, the first 3 months, let's say, okay, you had acting classes. I knew you had, but somehow you were texting me throughout your
Yes,
acting classes.
Evelina.
Like you were just all over me. You were texting me consistently. Like you made me feel like your acting classes was also like a free time for you to text me. But then
I would never do that.
unexpectedly, like in the 5 months together, you have acting classes, and you expect me to understand that when you have acting classes, we don't talk. But because you were so active on pursuing me, and that's what men do. For 3 months, they so actively pursue you until they get you to a point that they can hold you for granted, that they will use any moment that they have, whether they're busy or not, to communicate with you. But then they expect you to just understand whenever they're busy. And I feel like that's so unfair towards a person in general, because you make them feel, that's where overthinking comes for girls. Because where the fuck did this free time go now?
Yeah.
You know, like where the fuck do you not have time to communicate with me? And the other extreme is you don't have time to communicate with me, but you talk to other girls. Like it's just the other extreme of that, right?
I don't.
And that's where the other girl thing comes in. If you talk to me for 3 months and you're texting me every single hour and we're talking and we're having good conversations, and then out of the blue you don't talk to me for 4 hours because you're busy in class, that's where a girl's gonna be like, okay, well, you could do that before. So obviously your attention is on another girl, that you are paying attention to that girl now, that you don't have enough time for me.
That's boundaries though, right?
Yeah.
Like if you were to meet me from day one and tell me, you know what, at freaking 8:30, I have acting classes and they're actually 4 hours long, so I'm not gonna be able to text you. I'm gonna know by the 3rd month, oh damn, it's 8:30, like we're not gonna speak. But you can't just be going on and off. Like it doesn't work that way, because for us girls, we're never too busy for you. We're never too busy. Unless it's like a life-threatening.
And saying a simple good night from the beginning of talking, and then all of a sudden you don't say it anymore, and then that girl's, oh, what's going on? Like, what happened? And you're just, oh, don't worry, I forgot it. Okay, but you didn't forget for the last 3 months. So what made you forget now?
See, now you guys are just describing fuckboys to me.
I don't think it's fuckboys.
Honestly, yeah.
I think it's the issue that men take women, the ones that I've met, for granted most of the time. And I feel like it's because they so actively learn to like chase us, to get us, to attract us, it's always like the man that goes, as like this episode is, like the first move. He has to chase being attracted. He has to chase, even for, I don't want to say it chase, but even for sex, he has to initiate it. He has to do this.
Yeah.
And once that settles in for men, then it goes on to a routine, you know? But that's when it starts for us as females. That's when commitment starts for us. Because for us, it's 3 months, 2 months, you're just showing us that you want us. But I start committing to you. So when I start committing to you and you start gradually, I don't know, losing interest because it's not the same as it was like 3 months. Well, no shit, it's not going to be the same as it was in 3 months.
Yeah, I've learned that the hard way.
Yeah, it is how it goes.
Before, like you said, before that, I thought the same way. Okay, we get to this point, and then it's just gonna go steady because we already together. And then I realized that I have to put even more work. I think I knew it at some point, but I didn't realize the extent it was too. Because, excuse me, haven't been in much of a relationship in my life, so
Yeah.
It also
Like
comes
my-
with a problem with like guys that always just have a thing, and a thing is basically the flirtatious stage. Like, it's just a flirtatious stage. And if you have too many things, as I like to call them, which basically make you a fucked up person, I like to think, if you have too many things back to back, you're only used to the idea of a relationship being this flirtatious stage. So when you get to be with someone and it's not a thing anymore, it's legitimately a relationship, then you're just like, what the fuck is this? But that's what a relationship is. We're learning to coexist with each other. It can't be flowers and roses every single fucking day. Like, I would rather not have flowers and roses every single day. Like,
but it can't also just be arguments every single day too, though.
No.
That's true.
Right? Because from my perspective, I would do my best to make sure that my woman is happy, right? When I gotta focus on my stuff, I focus on my stuff. And I would do my best to communicate with her if there's some certain point, as I said, if there's a certain point that I can't reply, I'd be like, hey, I'm gonna be very busy today. I'm sorry, I'll probably get back to you later, blah, 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 stuff like that. And once I set this routine, I think it's just gonna flow very easy into her head, right? But then when I come back and then you're lashing out at me and I'm like, but this is what I've been doing for the past couple of months. And I told you that I've got other things to focus on. Like, these are important, right? I'm thinking about my future. I'm thinking about this. I'm thinking about that. And I want us to work together. It's just not fair if I'm doing my best to do what I'm doing, you're doing best to do what you're doing, and at the end of the day I come back and you're just lashing out at me for not.
But I agree with that, but I also think at that point she's just not secure in the relationship, because you have to also realize when you first start talking to a guy, you'd have no attachment to this man whatsoever. Like, he could stop talking to you one day and you wouldn't give a shit because it hasn't been that long. But if you've talked for a certain amount of months and you end up in a relationship and then it starts to change, you have to realize that that girl put her boundaries and she pushed away everything else that she was feeling and she let you in. And now she feels like you're letting her down, basically, in a way. And I mean, that's not also on you guys. That's also like how girls are. So that's also on us. But it's just at the end of the day, everyone just has to understand, like, okay, this is what's happening. And there has to be a certain way to make it work. Because I feel like if people couldn't figure it out, there wouldn't be those long-term marriages or long-term relationships. Like, you can figure it out. It just takes two people to actually figure it out.
That way,
Yeah.
And conversation, obviously. Because you need to think about the fact that if you see it from a girl's perspective, and I can tell you 99% of the time that's how it is, if we lash out, something deeper is going on. Something deeper is fucking us up that is hurting us. Because I know, for instances, like, if I were to bring up an argument, it's because I am hurt. I am hurt and I need to be heard. It's not, I don't have an issue with you and your routine. I don't have an issue with you, you know what, doing your own thing. Because even better, like, who would want to be with a man who doesn't, or with a woman equally, or with whoever who doesn't see themselves being something more, in a sense, have a growth and see that they can grow and have their own plans of the future. But it's not, I also don't like putting out the word like lashes out. Like, the idea that the woman is crazy, that's what fucking drives me.
I don't think it's
you know what gets me though is, like, say if you tell somebody that you're busy, or you're showing, like, you're making it seem that you're busy, but you have found the time to post on social media or text somebody else. It's just, how do I know that you're actually doing what you said you were doing?
That's just a dick move. You have to be really...
There have been so many guys that I've come across that are like that. It's like, what the fuck?
Change your taste, maybe?
Shut up, Tobin. Shut up.
that could be it. Like, it could be your taste in man.
It could be. I could just be all for them toxic assholes. But, you know.
If you never try, you never know.
Right? But if you're showing me you're a different person when I first meet you, and then I'm like, open myself up to you, and then you pull this shit, come on, man. Like, you should have been straight up with me when we first started talking.
But I think that's the fault with girls, too. Because when we meet someone, we feel like, because that's how girls are, as soon as I meet you, that's who you are. So when you persistently just flirt with me and you're just so sweet with me and understanding and this and that, you know, the bullshit I've heard a lot of times, trust me. And then all of a sudden there's a change of personality that I never knew existed or I could have, like, told. That's when shit just goes south. Like, I'm just like, what the fuck is going on right now? So
then when you say that shift in personality, do you mean they just completely change, or are you telling me that they're like bringing out another part of themselves?
I think, yes, both, actually. They bring another part of themselves, because I feel like it is very important in the first month that if you really want me to be attracted to you, or vice versa, like, you really have to show who the fuck you are. Because right now, girls and guys have a checklist, whether like, and I don't mean it in the bad way, you have your needs, and I need to know if I'm wasting fucking 3 months with you and all of a sudden I'm going to realize that my needs are not being met, even though for the 3 months I thought you were the sweet person that meets all my needs. That's where I feel like it's disrespect towards each other when that happens. Like, there's no reason for you to be fake, flirtatious, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
There's no reason for it. Like, you can just be, I mean, there's 7 billion people around the world. I'll survive without knowing you.
Yeah,
There's
like
more
wasting
around
my
the world.
time.
I'll be fine. Like, but you just need to be honest. Like, why this fake facade? And that comes with people that also want to portray someone that they're not. Like, they have an idea of themselves that they're not. You know, yeah, with the girls thing and like with the arguing, I think it's an issue of boundaries. Set up your schedule straight. I'll set up mine straight.
Basically, as long as there are clear communication, we establish boundaries right away, there's not going to be any issues. Or
Exactly.
shouldn't
I don't
be.
think
Or
so.
shouldn't be at all.
No.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that.
I don't think there's going to be no issues. There will be
Well,
issues.
I would say 90% out of 100, there shouldn't be anything. Yeah, of course there are going to be occasions, like shit happens, as they say.
Well, I think if you know from the start what you're getting into, and like you both understand that, then there
Then you
should be
shouldn't
no
get pissed.
issue.
Yeah,
No,
it's up to the
I don't think
person.
so. Yeah.
Essentially, like, if, for example, as Val like said, like if your significant other just was like, oh my god, I'm fucking pissed at you, you went and worked, but you specifically told them the first month you met them, you know what, I have a busy work schedule.
Yeah.
I work a lot of times of the week, and to be frankly honest with you, I have a couple of days off, and I'm willing to spend those days with you. If you say that and then they come to you and then they bitch at you for that, then you can just be like, it was your choice to be with me. I specifically laid it out for you. But if it's mixed up and it's like, one time I'm good, one time I'm not, one time I'm good, one time I'm not, like, what the fuck? You're confusing me. Like, where is the boundary? You know? That's where it's different. If you were to say that in the first month, I can assure you that girls, it would be respectful for one another. And then you can make a choice if you want to be together, because then you know what you're up to. Not 100%, but you know what you're up to. That's it.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
So, I would take an honor and wrap this part to you right here. Hopefully you guys and gals got some pointers out of it, because there's been a lot of useful information. I think we've talked through a lot of different interesting pointers that comes across. And now we're moving on to the last and the interesting part of our episode, rapid fire
It's been interesting.
questions. Welcome back, everybody, to the rapid fire questions. And here we're going to be asking two of our guests. Tobit, you select one.
Says that?
You wanna be-
What?
Yeah,
Oh.
select your guest. Who are you going to be asking?
Tamara, I'm going to be asking.
What are you choking us?
Shut the fuck up. Nobody asked, all right? I'll ask Tamara.
All right.
You can ask Evelina. Oh,
Alrighty.
ladies, who wants to go first?
Tamara can go
Okay.
first.
Tamara, you going first? Okay, let me pull out my timer real quick, all right?
I thought you were going to say something else. Okay.
No, why would I do
Oh
that?
my god.
Because you bringing it up so often, I got confused.
No,
I'm sorry.
Shut up.
Yes, you do.
His little tiny wiener.
Shut the fuck up, Tamara. Just so you know, I mentioned this before. Congolese people got the largest average dick size in the world. Proud to be a Congolese.
Except for you. There's always
You're an
those rare
exception.
people, you know?
Was that a 30-second question?
No, that was not the
I win.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
I got the timer in my hands. All right. I'm going to say the first question and then I'll start the timer. Are you ready, Tamara?
But no.
Come on.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Okay, yeah, let's do this.
All right. First question. Out of 10, how often do you use a pickup line on a guy?
Like 0.
Out of 10, how often do you approach a guy first?
Like 3.
What is the biggest double standard you cannot stand?
Oh shit. I don't know.
All right. Would you rather be cheated on or cheat on someone?
Oh my gosh.
Cheated on because I'm not that kind of person.
All right. Last question. Pickles or cucumber?
Pickles. Do I win?
That's 30 seconds. That is 30
Nice.
seconds.
Okay.
All right. I'll hand it over to you, Val. Evelina.
All right, I'm a little bit all over the place. Just
Oh my god, that makes it even worse.
yeah, 30
Okay.
seconds coming up. Okay, best place for a date.
Sorry.
Best place for a date.
Best place for a date? A restaurant?
The worst
No.
pickup line you've ever heard.
Who's your favorite philosopher?
Does the body count counts?
Yes.
Does the height matter?
Height? Yes.
Worst date moment.
Plain silence.
Okay, it was actually right on point.
Wow, go
I did
Evelina.
pretty good. Yeah, it was, thank you.
You know what? You answered all questions. I couldn't answer one.
All right, well, then
One
we'll
of the
second-
questions required more thinking for you.
Hey, I don't know if I'm. All right, Tamara. You skipped the third question because you took about good like 5 to 6 seconds, and then I just went on to the next one. What is
Yeah.
the biggest double standard that you can't stand?
Shit. Now I have to use my brain. I think it would be. Fuck, I don't know. I feel like. Oh.
See, this is like someone's on the edge of coming, but it just doesn't come anymore.
Shut up, Tobin, I don't know.
Oh my god.
I think it would be
A couple more strokes.
The- like if a guy stops talking to a girl for his significant other and the girl doesn't do that, I feel like that's just stupid. I feel like that would be the one that really gets me, because if you're not putting 50-50 into this, then there is.
Okay, and I have a big question for you guys. What was your best moment of this episode?
Apparently, I had a lot of things to say.
Bruh, venting my feelings out.
Venting. Thank you guys. I really needed this throughout the
Oh my
week. I had a lot of-
Okay, welcome back to the Noisy Boys Therapy.
Thank
Yes.
you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, it
All
was
right.
a pleasure to have both Evelina and Tamara on our podcast as our first guest. You guys did very, very well. All right, you got very good pointers that I could use and that our listeners could use. So thank you guys.
A lot of useful information, yeah. Thank you very
Yeah.
much for the intake.
Thank
because
you.
you know, we have this noisy boys gang, and it's only one-sided. We're trying to diversify it, so you know, it was a really good intake on the other side
Yeah,
of
and
the
I think
battlefield.
thank you for asking us to join you guys. I don't think I ever thought I would do this, so this was a good experience for me, at least.
Definitely. It was a good experience for me
All
as
right.
well.
All right, well, that wraps it up for everything. Val, you got anything you want to say?
I hope you guys enjoyed it, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Peace out.
Bye.
Bye.
That makes for a good ending.
Hey.